We're done with 4 matches of the Test series between India and England, and there's only one venue left now, which is now the final front for both the teams. And we head over now for the final Test match to London, and to be precise, at the Kia Oval. This is where the two teams will be going head to head for one last time in this series. But is there hope for India at this venue? We saw at Old Trafford, we saw at Edgbaston as well, two venues that hadn't been kind to the Indian team. But what is it that the Kia Oval has for the Indian team? Let's look at what India's record has been over the years at this particular venue. When you look at the overall number of matches being played, 14 matches that India have played over here. In fact, I can tell you that in 1936, in fact, in 36 and in 1946, you've played matches here. So you've been playing at this venue prior to independence as well. And over the years, you've played 12 more matches, of which you've won just 2, lost 5 and drawn 7. If you ask me how is it that I look at this, I look at it with some hope for the Indian team, because the Indian team has come out of this venue unscathed on 7 occasions, on 9 occasions, as you see. You had 2 wins, you've had 7 draws. So on 9 occasions, you've come unscathed from the Kia Oval, and that gives you hope. What also gives you hope is the fact that the last time you played at this venue, which was in 2021, you ended up winning on that particular occasion. So this is something that is going to give India some hope of performing well at the Kia Oval for the last Test match. But let's move forward. There are some more numbers that we've managed to dig out for you. And yeah, let's bring you those numbers now. In terms of the highest score by a batter at this particular venue, it has to be Sunil Gavaskar's 221, which he scored in 1979. Unfortunately, India could not win the series at that time. The series win had happened in the previous slide, as we showed, was 1971, when you'd won at the Kia Oval. India had managed to win the series as well back then. Also on that very tour, the 1971 tour, the best bowling figures that have been registered by any Indian bowler were registered by Chandrasekhar. He'd picked up 6 for 38. In fact, if memory serves me right, he'd made it an 8 for, but that was as far as his overall match figures are concerned. In fact, his 8 for at this venue in 1971 continue to be the best bowling figures by an Indian in a match. However, what you see on your screen is the best bowling figure by an Indian for an innings. Moving on, 664, again something that you will remember very well, is India's highest total at the venue under the leadership of Rahul Dravid. India went ahead and posted this gigantic total. What a field day it was for the Indian team back then in 2007. Also, fond memories of that particular match and that tour, because that was also the last time that India won a series in England. Lastly though, and this is something that you may not necessarily want to revisit, but when it comes to India's last visit to this venue, not necessarily in the series, it happened in 2023 when India played the final of the World Test Championship. Up against the Indian team were Australia, who ended up registering a mammoth win against the Indian team. But before I go, time for some good memories. Let's take a look back at what had happened. I leave you with this image of the Indian team triumphantly coming out of the Kia Oval. They registered a famous win. Rohit Sharma with a splendid century. There were a couple of half centurions along with him as well. I remember Chiteshwar Pujara getting a well-crafted 50-60 odd. There was Shardul Thakur, who'd gotten his 60. He'd scored 57 in the first innings. Rishabh Pant also got a well-made 50, and India registered a famous win in 2021 at this particular venue. So can India be triumphant once again and level the series? Also, this is India's last win in this particular tour as well, because as you would remember, for 1 year the series was sort of put on hold, and then you played that last match in the year 2022. I won't get there as to what happened in that particular match, but this is also the last venue where you had a series, where you had a win in the last series. So can India end this particular series as well with a win, just as they saw their last win in the last series that they had played against England in England. That is something we will have to wait and see. But of course, fond memories. But so much has changed. There is no Virat Kohli. There is no Rohit Sharma this time around. There is no Umesh Yadav as well. Somebody that I see over there in the picture. But let's see what is it that Prasidh Krishna, if he plays, Akashdeep, Jasprit Bumrah and all those alongside them, what is it that they can do as far as this final test match of the series is concerned.